I'm Susan.
And I'm Annie. And this is
Two Friends, One Chat. That was really intense. There was a lot of intense eye contact that time.
We really locked eyes.
Just had to get in there. Whew.
Oh my gosh. Well, on that note. Oh, I am just so happy you guys decided to come back and listen to us. Hopefully we're building some tools in your tool belt.
They came back.
Yeah.
They're back.
Oh my gosh.
I'm so happy.
It is a wonderful thing.
I'm so happy.
For all of the listeners, we were just, before recording this episode, we were editing one of our other episodes. And it was just really fun because a lot of my reactions to what you were saying were the same as on what was recorded. So it was really sweet.
It's fun. I mean, you guys wouldn't. I mean, I guess if you re-listen, it'd be kind of similar to that experience. But it is very interesting to listen to our episodes and edit. We say edit, but no editing was needed because we're so good.
That one actually, laid down perfectly. Every once in a while we'll edit stuff out, but that one was great.
We get a little off track sometimes.
Gotta reel it in. Just, you got this, guys. You got it. Oh, man. Speaking of...
Yes.
Are we going to do shout-outs today?
Well, yes.
Tell me more.
Yes, we're going to do kind of like a get-to-know-you check-in-y type of activity.
Love it.
But this time we're doing shout-outs. And I think this kind of came from, for those of you that have to go to meetings, and sometimes in meetings, we like to shout out other people, right? Mm-hmm. So I think we will definitely shout out other people, but we're also going to shout out ourselves. Because it's important to recognize when you do something good.
Yes.
We don't do a good job of that, like, on our own.
It's so interesting. We're so socially trained as females to not be proud of accomplishments.
Yes.
And to somehow, if you are proud of accomplishments, then all of a sudden you're, I don't know, not a good person anymore, or stuck up, or, but...
Selfish. That's my, bad word. Back to language, right?
Yes.
The word selfish is, terrifying to me.
Yeah.
It's like calling me a B word.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you.
It rings hard.
One of my friends jokingly called me the B word, and then he felt bad. He's like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And I was like, honestly, that's just a compliment to me now. I really think, because it's become so far in language that, yes, if someone had called me that, and many people have, it used to be, hurt my feelings, and now I'm like, yeah. It's like this, badge of honor almost, so. But yes, selfish, especially for a female. Oof. You do one thing for yourself. You might as well just label yourself
done.
The worst.
Done.
Yeah.
It's over.
Yeah. You are expected to be caring for everyone all the time.
I'm trying.
And if you do anything for yourself...
It's selfish.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
We'll get there.
We'll get there.
But we're going to do shout-outs to start off the episode before we dive into... We're going to talk about debriefing those boundaries today. But let's start with shout-outs. Get to know you. Yes. We are going to shout out ourselves, each other, and then another random person.
I love it.
Lots of shout-outs.
Yep.
Are you ready? You ready to shout it out?
You guys can't see I'm rolling my shoulders. Getting loose, getting ready. Getting ready.
Gotta stretch. That's how hard this is.
Yeah. Okay.
To shout out to ourselves.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Do you want to start? You want to start your shout out to yourself?
Shout out to myself.
Yes.
I think the biggest shout out I can think of is I've got a lot of personal life changing things right now, which is wonderful and good.
Yeah.
But one thing that I did is bless my mother's little heart. Bless her little heart.
Yeah.
She called me, I've decided to move in with my current partner, and she was very concerned and said I shouldn't until my brother met him and all of these things and blah, blah, blah. And I just kind of was like, no. She's like, I'm going to go ahead and just do what works best for me. I'm not going to put my life on hold for other people anymore.
Would you say you threw down a boundary?
I didn't even think about it like that.
I should go back.
I didn't.
You drew a beautiful boundary for yourself.
I drew a boundary.
Yes.
And see, again, this is one of those things, like, it happened in the moment. I didn't even, like, recognize it till I was talking to my counselor about it. And then she was like, oh my gosh, that's huge.
It's amazing.
That's why I'm shouting myself out now, because someone else recognized it. I didn't even recognize it at first. And it was all in a loving and respectful way. And my mother was very understanding. And she was like, you're totally right. Aww. So, I mean, it all went great. But I'm just super proud of myself for, like, not even hesitating.
Yeah.
Just calmly responding with, no. I'm going to go ahead and do what works for me. Shout out to Susan.
Okay, also, what you can't see is she was giving herself a little, like, pat on the back, and you should. That's a huge deal. To be able to say what you mean in a loving and respectful way, but still put yourself first as a priority. That is
huge.
I'm going to swear here. That's a goddamn win. That's what that is. I said it.
Super shout out.
Super shout out. Okay. I'll go.
Okay.
Let's see. I think I want to give myself a shout out because I have been working really hard on perspective.
Ooh.
Because and you know, the more time you get to spend with us, the more you'll realize I feel all the feels.
Every single one.
Oh, Lord Jesus, every single feel. And so things can be pretty overwhelming. And it can make social situations really difficult. To do a lot of analyzing. And so one of the things that I've been working on is helping myself understand a perspective that I am a good person, and that kind of going back to our core wound conversation.
Yeah.
And really starting to believe that about myself, because that has not been my internal monologue, has not been that I am a good person.
Right. That's not the message that you have been given and perceived.
Yes. Correct.
Okay.
And so I'm really working through that and kind of helping that shape my relationships going forward, because you know, we've talked a lot about how your internal monologue is going to shape your behavior.
Of course.
And your perspective on yourself will shape your behavior. And so it's been a really powerful experience. It's also a really difficult thing to do, to reshape that monologue, and just to believe I am a good person, and I'm really worth positive relationships. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I'm building that perspective, and it is not easy, but I'm working really hard at it, and I'm taking risks, which are, you know, even something like this podcast. This is a very open, I guess. What's the word I'm looking for?
Like vulnerable?
Thank you. Okay. Yes. I was like, when you're open and people can see everything.
Like looking. It's a little more sensitive in there.
Vulnerable was the word I was. So, I don't know. I'm really proud of myself, and I'm still going to keep working on it. But I would like to give myself a firm shout out for recognizing it and working on it.
Yes.
Pump it up. Pump it up. Okay.
Pump the jams.
Okay, who do you want a random shout out?
Oh, I was gonna bridge shout out to you first.
Oh, just do it.
Bridge across to shout out to you.
Love that.
I just have. I want to shout out to everything with Annie, but you know, what I mean, just we love each other so much.
The vibe is real.
I just have to shout out at how amazing you are doing with this podcast. Annie does all the hard work. I just come here and I talk, and then she does all the other work. And she is killing it. Aww. The website and all the drawings for the episodes and all the editing, and you are crushing it.
Oh my gosh. That makes me feel so wonderful, and I gotta say, I get a lot of joy out of it. Because one of the things we talked about, and I think we've talked about this before, but when we were really launching into the goal of this podcast was to give people tools, directions, a space to feel good.
Yes.
But one of the things we talked about was I needed a creative outlet. Mm-hmm. So this is actually kind of meeting a need for me, because I have so much energy, you guys. For those of you who don't, my husband calls it my natural Christmas cheer.
Yes.
And it's year-round, and it's a lot. And so it's good for me to have creative outlets because then I feel good, and there's a place for my energy to go. So, yeah. I would say it's definitely something I enjoy doing. So
Well, shout out whether you like doing it or not, because I don't think I could or would be able to do the majority of what you're doing. But I have also, I think when this first began, it was like, okay, this is Annie's next adventure.
Yeah.
Of course I'm going to go on it because it sounds like fun, but, I didn't have super high expectations because I didn't want to get crushed and it was your thing. And I am so in love with what we're doing. It's not even funny. So I think that makes it more of a shout out because you have brought me into this thing that I now love and want to do forever with you. But I just want to shout out because you're the one doing all the hard work behind it.
Oh my gosh, you're awesome. Oh, FYI, everybody, we did not rehearse these. This is just
we
literally
don't rehearse anything.
This is literally just two friends having a chat.
Sometimes we're like, let's bullet point some things, and we start and we get one bullet point down, and then we
just start recording. Oh, it does make it so fun. Oh, and by the way, shout-outs are something you can do with your family and partners.
Of course.
Yeah.
This is another tool for you to put in your tool box, belt, bag, wherever you carry your tools.
I love it. Holster, maybe?
I got a bag.
Oh, nice.
A tool bag.
You know, if I was going to imagine what I used for my emotional tools, I would go a Wild Western themed. So I've got holsters, really cool leather holsters, maybe 2 bandoliers across the front with lots of therapeutic tools.
Like a thigh holster too?
Oh, you know it. And the boot, the little yeah. That's my imagery. So
yeah,
I'm a classy lady.
As much as I hate rolly carts, I'd probably have a rolly cart, all organized, filed, alphabetical.
Definitely would. Oh my gosh.
I hate rolly carts and backpacks, so I won't do it.
Color coded.
Just because it's imaginary, and I wouldn't actually have to carry it.
You know, I don't even imagine a pulley cart. I imagine a pushy cart, like
a full male push cart, like you see in the movies, and their hand and stuff. Oh, that's how big it is. Okay.
Oh yeah, and they're organized, and Susan's got the best handwriting in the world. And everything just has your handwriting on it, and you can hand out little envelopes to people.
That's what I was gonna say. I'd have little emotional support treat bags just to hand to people.
Yes, you would. And here you go. Okay.
Wait, let me find the one you need.
Yep. Please explain your emotional issue one more time. Yes, you'll be needing the goodie bag. That's 100% what I see. Oh my gosh, that's so awesome.
Oh my god. We digress.
This is how we digress, everybody. Okay, let's snap. Oh yeah, it's my turn. I get to give a shout out.
Okay.
You guys, this is what you need to know, and this is my true shout out, is Susan walks the walk.
Oh.
Yeah, so when she is giving therapeutic advice, and even just reflecting on editing this last episode that we were working on, you just say things so honest and so true. And so I think that you create an environment where people can accept therapeutic advice because it's so honest and so true.
Oh.
And I think that our listeners are going to benefit from that. And so, it's just really important. So I just am shouting out your honesty, and you aren't giving advice you wouldn't follow. And that's
that
huge.
Is 100% true.
Yeah. Oh man.
That is 100% true.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not going to tell you to do something.
No, God, no.
That, I wouldn't or haven't already done or tried or thought would be beneficial.
Yeah.
Well, I think, and I'm glad it all comes across that way because I try so much. I don't know how to lie or scheme. You can go back and talk to my middle school teacher.
Mm-hmm.
We had Scrabble tournaments
that's
in
so
our
cute.
English class.
Yeah.
And she wanted me to lie that a word was a word because I was teammates with the teacher, and she's like, and I couldn't do it.
That's awesome.
I'm just the worst.
No,
at
I think
lying. So it's all honest. If I'm saying it, it's true and real to me.
Yeah, that's a really good quality to be a bad liar.
So bad.
Meanwhile, when I played Go Fish with my grandma, she had real big glasses, and I could read her cards. Oh, I did.
Cheater!
Oh Oh my goodness.
You didn't even try to avert your eyes?
Oh no, I think I only played like 2 rounds and I was so excited that I was cheating, I told her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Later, after.
Yeah,
okay.
Yeah. It wasn't like it lasted that long because I was so excited about my new technique, but yeah, we're different people, so, potato.
This is what you gotta do. It's fine. It's
Oh,
totally fine.
okay, who do you want to shout out randomly?
Ooh, random shout outs.
Yeah.
This is just kind of crazy and fun. You can try it or not. It's totally up to you. Although I would say we're going to do random shout outs about random people to each other.
Yeah.
I feel like in real life we should just random shout out to the people.
I love that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, just random shout out. You're doing awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to, this is going to be a little silly, but I'm going to random shout out to the people working at the Dutch Brothers the other day.
Okay.
Oh my goodness, I've never seen a line so long, but it was also one of those that like never end, like every time a new car came up,
gosh.
and it was like, and they were running and smiling and everyone was happy and everyone was polite and it was just like, yes.
Wow.
Like shout out, because there were some people I would think in that position would be like,
yeah,
stupid car, I'm going to stand right here. You can come up when you come up. Like, or do you know what I mean?
100%.
Just, I love when people are good at their jobs and happy doing their jobs, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So shout out to Dutch Brothers.
Oh, I very similar. I'm gonna follow suit. We live next to the world's greatest pub of all time.
Oh.
We are creatures of habit and homebodies, so we are there all the time. Like that's our go-to spot. It's in my social support circle, which we're gonna do next week. We're gonna talk about that. But the staff there are just loving and kind and just awesome.
Yeah.
It's such a great experience. Every time we go there, they also have the world's best Cobb salad.
Okay.
So
now you know.
If you are a Cobb salad fan, like myself, it's to die for. So shout out. They always just make us feel welcome and supported.
So next time I'm legit gonna shout out to them.
Absolutely.
Because I didn't. This has been a couple days and I'm still because I think even in the line I was like, I need to say something like they're so awesome, or maybe I should tip bigger this time, or and I just kept like overthinking it and then didn't do anything because I thought it would sound stupid. I tipped my normal tip.
Oh,
I didn't
sure.
But I'm just like still thinking about it. So like I need to not worry and just shout it out.
I love shout it out.
I need to get back. You know when you like see someone's shoes and you're like, oh, like I just need to get back to like, you are rocking that shirt.
Yes.
Or those shoes. Let's start shouting everybody out.
It's like
in a positive way.
I think we talked about this. Maybe I can't remember what episode it's in, but like when your mom says, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
Well, the conclusion to that we never talk about is like, but when you have something nice to say, say it.
Say it.
Words have so much weight. You can make someone's day by just saying the positive, or your friend rocks it in a work meeting. Give them a shout out.
Yes.
Man, you crushed it. You were direct. You were on target. Things like that. Just, I love that. I think I'm going to take that challenge this week. In fact, I'm going to take a note because we're going to talk about this next week.
Oh, she's getting serious.
Yeah.
She's legit. Actually writing down a note right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's serious. She means it.
Yeah.
Oh, is this going to be like a little? We have to do it?
Oh, yeah.
And report back?
It's a challenge.
Aww. Just gave myself homework. Oh, I thought I was done with school.
All right, we're going to do a shout-out challenge.
Okay.
And I hope that we come back with fun stories. I know we will. I mean, it's us, so it will be fun. Okay.
I like it.
Okay, so what we're going to talk about this week, now that we've had...
Okay, now, getting into it.
We're getting into it. We're diving right in.
Getting in that clinical piece.
Okay, so I was really meditating on us talking about boundaries, and I realized one of the things I really wanted to follow up with was the debrief time afterwards. I feel like we talked a lot about, the pre-contemplative stage, so you're like, oh, I'm seeing the boundary needs to be drawn. Really great planning. We even talked about how to have those conversations to start that process, but what we really, and we did talk about it a little bit, but I don't think enough to really explore it clinically.
Yeah.
Is like, so you've drawn the boundary, now what?
Now,
right?
Yes. Yes.
And so you brought up a really great point. where you were saying, you can debrief drawing a boundary with like a relationship in the moment.
Yeah, if it's the right person and the right situation and it's safe.
Yeah.
I think it's totally okay to be like, hey, how did that feel? How did that come across?
Yeah.
What worked well? But it's definitely got to be the right person. I mean, you wouldn't want to do that with just anybody.
Yeah, I think you're 100% right. So I think if you're in a healthy relationship and you need to draw a boundary, it's still hard. It will probably be easier than one where, if you have secure attachment. So, like, hey, I need to draw this boundary. Or maybe I need to, like, tell my partner, hey, you really hurt my feelings, right?
Right.
And I need you to not tease me about whatever it is, right?
Yes.
Like, and if you have that healthy relationship, you can say, now how does it feel?
Yeah.
I had this conversation with you.
Also, like, that was an example of drawing a boundary very quickly. Like, you can do them, but it doesn't have to be this big, drawn-out process every time either. You could very quickly create a boundary. But yes, checking in. Yeah. Like with you, I think if I ever had to set a boundary with you, it could happen one day, I guess, maybe. I would totally debrief.
Oh my gosh.
Immediately.
100%. If I ever had to do the same with you. Well, I did, remember? That one time? Can I tell that story?
You did.
Is that okay?
Yes.
Okay.
Oof.
You have alluded to this in other episodes.
Yeah.
But you were in a really unhealthy relationship. And I started to get, like, super scared because I just know, and that's a lot of my expertise. I spend a lot of time working in that world, and I have seen when people struggle, how much of a safety risk they can be to their partners. And physically, emotionally, you name it, like it's just a ball of unsafety. And I remember thinking, and I even talked to my therapist, I am so afraid I'm going to lose my friend. Not like we would ever not be friends. We would, but you would spend your time and energy towards this person who wasn't reciprocating that to you. Yeah. And so I was so afraid of that. And this is so us, because it was my birthday. We were getting ready for it. And I was taking a shower, and I was making you sit in there and talk to me while I was taking a shower.
On the toilet! Yes!
I have a really small bathroom, and I remember, like, just telling you that I had to have that conversation with my therapist and how worried I was, because we drew a boundary. We had said he actually can't come over.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And that was the hardest thing in the world, because then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm going to lose Susan. But I didn't, because this is a healthy relationship.
Yeah.
And you knew that, one, you were always supported.
Yes.
And it was just wonderful. So I have done it. And yes, I had to debrief right afterwards.
Yeah.
And and then just made you, like, hang out with me for a little. Which actually was really helpful for me, because drawing that boundary was really quite scary.
Yes.
And it was very reassuring to me that you still hung out with me afterwards.
Of course.
Yeah. But I think that's the difference between a healthy relationship where there's positive attachment, and if you have to have a really hard conversation. Yeah. It's okay to still have needs even in the healthiest of relationships. So and hey, maybe keep that as a tool in your tool belt. If you have to have a conversation with your partner about, oh man, relationships, you guys, so many things can go right and so many things can go wrong. And you need to have maybe something triggered you and you have to tell your partner, you can ask for that. Say, hey, I need you to hang out with me for like a half an hour afterwards so I know you still like me. Yeah. Like, it is okay to ask those things from healthy partners.
Yes. Yeah. From healthy relationships.
Yes.
So yes, quick after debriefs with the right people, totally possible. Yeah. That is not normally the case, though, right? Yeah. Normally, we're not having to set boundaries with those healthy relationships. Because they're healthy relationships.
Well, 100% well said. Which kind of leads us to the other piece. But I do love the immediate being able to, and that healthy, like, hey, this was scary for me. This is,
because us anxiety people are, the longer we wait to debrief, whether it's with the person or someone else, as we'll talk about later, the other ways to debrief, the longer we wait to do that, the more the anxiety is going to build.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And here's the truth of anxiety or unmet feelings that are unprocessed. they are going to come out in ways that you don't want them to. Like,
Amen.
It's like putting a lid on a boiling pot.
Yeah.
It's gonna boil over.
It's gonna spit it out
All
on
over.
you, all over the stovetop.
Never when you want it to.
Nope.
It's gonna make a really big mess.
Nope. You think it's all right? You go to answer the door because you're like, no, it's fine. It's just simmering.
Yeah,
It's gonna be fine. I'm gonna go pet the dog. I'm gonna go get the door. I gotta pee. You come back to just Mount Vesuvius. Is that a thing?
Isn't that the
okay now?
Yeah, didn't it erupt, Mount Vesuvius?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's like Pompeii, right?
Sure. With the cartographers.
Yeah. The cartographers. It's no big deal. It's just the cartographers.
But it's true. That's a really good point.
I cannot
will
stress this
boil
enough.
over.
It will boil over. And that is true for any emotion.
Only shove it down so much.
Yes.
And you can shove it down a lot. Don't get me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
You can shove a lot.
Oh, yeah.
But it will come back to bite you.
It will. And it will come out in ways that you cannot foresee.
Mm-hmm.
Like, our bodies are so complicated. Our brains are so beautiful. And the way our bodies and brains work together, I mean, you can have health issues.
Yes.
You can have, oh my goodness. I mean, really, the expanse of what could happen is infinite, really.
Mm-hmm.
But I just can't stress it enough. That's why it's really important to process those feelings.
Yeah.
And it's okay to have a lot of them.
Yeah.
From one person who feels all the feels to the other. I can't encourage you enough to talk through them.
Oh,
and
please.
Yes, please, 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 please. Yeah, anyway. See, and now we digress. Okay. But it was a good one. I feel like that was a...
I feel like we were like...
right there.
We were close to where we were supposed to be.
Yeah.
We weren't way off.
No. Yeah, not way off.
You know how when you're on like a major highway and there's a little highway on the side and you're like, how do people...
We took
no one over there.
Highway.
Yes, we took the scenic route. You're welcome. We didn't like do a complete U-turn.
No.
We got on the little scenic highway.
No. Yeah, we did good. We did good. Okay, so we talked about boundaries, debriefing in the moment. You're in this healthy relationship. You can say those feelings. You can get that reassurance from that partner. Beautiful. That's great. But usually you're right when you're having to draw a boundary, and you're having to draw a boundary where you had to do pre-planning and you had to do rehearsing and you had to use your social supports to draw those boundaries. What I really want people to feel supported in is what to do next. And you will probably be feeling all the feels, right? Because lots of examples of times that you have tried to draw boundaries, and if that person is threatening you with their relationship, like basically they're saying they're going to withdraw their relationship because you laid down this boundary,
right?
And you don't know if that's going to happen or not, that's a really scary time.
Terrifying.
Yeah, it's terrifying. So what I want to talk about is how do we debrief in those moments? Mm-hmm. And that's really going to lead us to next week when we explore what our social circles look like and matching the right support for the right problem, basically.
Yes.
And we'll do that next week, and that's going to be super fun. But right now I want to talk about what do we do in those moments.
Yeah, when we need to debrief.
Yeah.
And I think it's what you're... I think the first step of debriefing is when you get outside of that, whatever happened, right?
Yeah.
You get back in your car, or you go back in your room, or whatever it is, taking that moment to just breathe.
Yep.
Breathe. I forget to breathe a lot.
Oh, yeah.
I have to remind myself.
Yep.
Like, unclench your hands. Like, do a quick physical body debrief.
Yes.
You
like
know what I mean?
Awareness check.
Just to come down from all that energy.
Yep. Oh my gosh, I love that. And not one I would have thought about, but something I definitely don't do enough of. Because I'll do the thing where, like stressful days, like I'll clench your shoulders tighter and tighter and tighter, and then all of a sudden I'll realize, what am I doing?
Why am I like this?
Yes.
I have my shoulders
touching
you call them elbows. I got my shoulders up to my ears. No, but it's true. Again, this is something, a tool I'm suggesting to you. It's again something I try to do. I am not good at. Ask my massage therapist and my chiropractor.
Oh yeah.
Right? They're like, son of a... I'm having to do like nerve flossing. It's like so bad in there. My nerves are all... Anyway.
I have
whatever.
never heard of nerve flossing.
I'll teach it to you.
Okay.
It's like stretching.
Wow. Okay.
But
Yeah.
It does stuff to your nerves. It's fine.
We got one of those, like, looks like a jackhammer for your muscles.
Yeah, I got one of those too.
Those things are awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's your
Highly
muscles. And I've been using that, and nothing
Yeah.
was working. And he's like, it's because your nerves are pissed off. So we did cupping, so I got all these bruises. We tried cupping.
Oh.
Anyway.
This is a digress. I am very interested. Did you feel benefits of cupping? What are your thoughts, feelings?
I'm undecided still, but
Okay.
I only did one, and we have to do 2 more.
Okay.
But he said it was going to be a slow process,
Interesting.
so.
You should keep me posted. I've never
Okay.
tried it, but I've seen it. Yeah.
But a tool would be to quickly, physically kind of try to calm yourself down a little bit after that.
Yeah, I love that, giving a physical body awareness check-in.
Yeah.
I think my first go-to, and I struggle with body awareness, I'll just be frank. It's not just not something I'm very good at, but is making that phone call. So, you know.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
Who am I calling in the car as I cry?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Reach out. Boundaries, and again, and I can't stress this enough, boundaries can be really alienating because there is a risk you'll lose the relationship.
Yeah.
And so pre-planning and having those social supports ready to take your phone call, I can't recommend that enough. Someone to kind of affirm that you made the right choice, that you're working hard in.
So I have kind of an example of that.
Yeah.
But it's a little different because, again, I come back to boundaries are for you, not the other person, right?
Yeah.
So this example is me setting a boundary for me. I don't think that other people even knew I did it.
Yeah.
But I had a little bit of a kind of triggering and scary happening at a gas station with the gas attendant.
Okay.
I think I told you about it.
Yeah.
So I in the moment, did not say anything to the attendant. It just didn't feel right or safe. And I leave and I go into another parking lot and I pull over. And in my head, right, I'm super anxious and I'm also like, that's never going to happen again. In my head, I'm drawing these boundaries of that gas station is now off limits because I don't know when that particular attendant's going to be working or not. Drawing all that up, I'm getting all flux. I'm like, okay, I've made my decision. This is what I'm going to do. And I pick up the phone and I call my mom.
Oh, that's so sweet.
So, those are the steps. Like, all of that boundary setting, whether it was with someone or not, happened.
Yeah.
But I still needed to debrief what had happened, the decision I made. I want a little kind of feedback on, does that sound appropriate?
Yep.
Am I taking it too,
Yes.
You just kind of want to get that debrief and that check-in.
And I think, too, like, so much about that experience that you told me, right, is it's something that instantly puts you back into that fight, or freeze, excuse me. And I think it is always so important to debrief if you are in that, like, mindset.
Sure.
Because, and I think one of the things I want to work with and really share this knowledge is, you touched on body awareness, but how often are you in that fight, flight, or freeze? And for those of you who have really felt that, it's kind of like that wave of anxiety. And before I had appropriate tools or supports, I mean, it would be multiple times a day. I would just have this wave of anxiety and I couldn't make choices. I couldn't drive by myself without shame spiraling. So I think encouraging people to, one, be aware of that, and then 2, access those social supports just like you did.
Yes.
Because that will help ground you. It will remind you you are not alone. It will remind you that it will give you felt safety, which is...
Yes.
Oh my gosh. You handled it perfectly.
That's exactly what it was.
Yeah, felt safety is... Oh, that's a topic we'll cover. Not next week. We already have next week picked out.
Another week.
Another week. But just remember.
Yeah.
Bookmark felt safety.
Yeah. But pick up that phone, drive to that friend's house. Yeah. It could even be something you set up ahead of time if you need to. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That you already know your safety support person, and you've already set up.
Yep.
Hang out at their house or coffee shop or whatever it is. Like, I have to do this at work today. I need you to meet me at 5 wherever.
I love that.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Pre-plan it for show so they don't get the crazy crying call.
And you know what?
But also give the crazy crying
I was
call.
just going to say, reach out.
Yeah.
But I think that what I really love and how this launches perfect into next week is I want us all to feel comfortable to build our social maps, right? And to understand how important, right? Again, I'm going to say it again. If 80% of our brain function is automatically driving us to relationship, then I think it's okay for us to spend some time planning what that looks like and investing in that.
Yeah.
So investing in that just like you would for retirement or just like you would for vacations or things like that. So I think it's also a fun exercise. So it'll be a lighter episode. And just really, really promoting the idea of a debrief. Not just after boundary drawing, right? You can debrief after anything that's difficult.
Oh, sure.
But specifically if you really have to draw a boundary that has a high risk of ending some relationships and how and just honoring that's going to be an incredibly painful experience. I don't know if I've shared this brain fact, but it's the other one that I love so much.
Ooh.
Okay.
I love the brain fact.
Oh my gosh, you guys like so much. So they've done like brain mapping now, and when you get like punched in the face, it highlights your pain receptors. Because we are emotional beings, we handle loss, like loss of relationship and death and dying, the exact same way. So it activates the same nerves as if you got punched in the face.
Right.
So that pain, when people say heartbreak or that pain you're feeling is 100%
Physical.
real.
Yeah.
So if you experience loss and you are feeling that pain, you remember how they used to say like, take 2 Advil and call me in the morning.
Do it, huh?
100%.
Take it.
Yeah.
Not Advil for me, but
yeah, aspirin or anything.
Whatever you take.
It will mute the same pain receptors. It's not going to take the pain away, but just honoring what you're feeling is intense physical pain because we are so emotionally and relationally driven.
Yeah.
So there's just a lot of beauty in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it could, right, setting boundaries, we talked about this, could be bad. But it also could be good, right? It can go well, and I also would encourage you to debrief with a safe person, with the person you've set these new boundaries with. If it went well, still debrief.
Yeah, love that.
Even if it was good.
Yeah. And I think, too, and we'll talk about this a little bit in social circle planning, but the bigger the boundary you have to draw, maybe the higher the risk. Obviously, you're going to need to weight that with your debrief, right?
Sure.
So it's things like that where you have a therapist that can be huge for planning those really big ones. Because that is a professional level of support that highly recommend. Stick that tool in your tool belt. So I love that, and then I love having the felt safety, someone you can call.
Yeah.
I love doing a personal body awareness check. I think that is a great way to start and to just honor what you went through was difficult. Any other tips you can think of?
No, I mean, I think just to debrief either way.
Yeah, I agree.
Because it's still, even if it went well, it's still a lot of anxiety, right? It's still a lot of emotional kind of buildup.
Yeah.
So just be aware.
Yeah.
Of it. And if it didn't go well, and if it's a boundary that you aren't gonna keep or that breaks, that debriefing, right, will only help you next time.
Yes. I love that.
Because then you're like, oh, remember last time it didn't work and we said these were the reasons why. Let me try and mitigate those before I try this time.
Ugh. Perfect. Well said. I think that we've really touched on, and I'm really glad we spent a little more time revisiting like the debrief section because it is such an important part. I never want to feel like we're rushing through anything.
Oh that would have been too much to do this.
Yeah, you're probably
at the same time as boundary episode for sure.
Yeah, I think that's.
You guys would have tuned out.
Yeah, we can get chatty, and Lord knows we can go on some tangents. But I guess what I want to say is to keep the idea of a debrief in your tool belt, and to invest socially in understanding who are positive supports for you, and how you can really start to grow that. We need that. We need that as people.
And I think the other thing I would add, just because we've talked about it before, is if you don't feel like you have anybody, no safe people, no one you can debrief with. Don't debrief with. I I think you can even try debriefing with yourself. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Writing down what worked, what felt good,
Yeah.
what didn't, what...
Yeah.
And I think as we go on, hopefully we can help people learn to, I don't even want to say grow their social supports, but recognize
I love that.
the ones that are already there.
Yes.
But I do know that I have felt there's been times where I couldn't debrief or talk to anyone, even with my good supports.
Yeah.
So even personally just doing that with yourself if you need to, I think is important.
I love
just to process through everything.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It also, you know, if you don't feel like, if you are struggling, like maybe you're embarrassed or you're ashamed or you have any of those feelings, just get a professional because they take an oath.
They love it.
Yeah, and they're not going to tell anybody. So that's something beautiful about having that professional support. So
we will always promote
getting
a professional.
Yes.
For sure. And to each their own. We're not obviously never going to make anybody, but boy howdy, everyone should have one. I don't understand why
10 of 10.
we make it. I just feel like everyone should always have a counselor.
Yes, absolutely.
Not that you necessarily even need to see them constantly, but you should just it should be like your PCP that you can just be like,
exactly.
Need a check-in.
Tool in my toolbox
right
back there. Yep.
Yeah.
Because mental health is physical health.
Mental health matters.
Ooh. The song. That was good. I was swept into the magic. Yeah. Well, I think that's all I wanted to cover is I wanted to make sure people felt loved and supported in boundaries, and I just thank you for joining us.
Again, thank you for coming back and debriefing with us.
Oh my gosh, yes.
We debriefed on the debrief episode. So thank you.
Thank you, and join us next week. We're going to talk about social circles and social mapping and understanding different supports for different situations.
And being ridiculous. Because that's what we do.
There will be sides of that. And don't forget our challenge. I wrote it down.
Oh, crap. Gosh,
next week.
It.
Shout out challenge.
Shout out challenge. We will report back. You let us know if you shout out challenged.
Oh, yeah.
Let us know. Snap a pic.
Hey, do you want to say the email? I wrote it down this time so I can do it.
Okay.
Email us at twofriends.onechat@gmail.com. That's spelled TWOFriends.onechat@gmail.com. Seriously, reach out.
Shout out. Let's jump back to shout outs. Shout out to Annie. First time getting it right.
Oh,
Proud of you.
It feels good. It feels good. On that note, we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.